Hello and welcome back to Have Your West Ham View. I'm Sam.
And I'm Tom.
Episode 14. It's a take two as well. We've already done an episode 14 just before the Newcastle game last week, actually, weren't it? And we didn't get time to turn it around. We want all the content to be fresh, and it just ran over, didn't it? And then you had Newcastle, and then who did we have on the weekend after Newcastle? Fulham, weren't it?
Fulham, yeah.
So by that point, we just thought, you know what, we're going to just give it a miss. We bigged ourselves up too much pre-Newcastle anyway.
Yeah, we did. I think we all were probably too optimistic. I think I suggested we might get a point. You even backed us to win. So we thought, fuck it, let's not embarrass ourselves.
No.
We'll leave it.
But going into the game, we actually believed that we could get something, especially based on our home form. Hadn't lost a game at home. And we all know what happened there, 5-1. It was an abysmal performance, and we don't want to talk about that too much because it was poor really. But we did go, and then obviously turn over Fulham on the weekend.
Typical relegation result, wasn't it? Moyes just sat back. Antonio, it was two up front, which was strange, and we just got an early goal, didn't we? And just literally defended for our lives.
Yeah, it was
own goal, wasn't it? It was Bowen.
Yeah, 4-4-2 I think we played, which is a real rarity. And what I find funny is we got the result, we won the game, and then we had Arsenal on Sunday, and he didn't play two up top. And I know we got a point in the end, but at 2-0 down after 10 minutes, I thought, why have you not just gone for the game? Because you have. I know it's Arsenal, and it showed that you've got to be careful because they went 2 up in 10 minutes. But if it's worked, why?
Yeah, well, there was a few tactical changes we were going to later that I noticed when we went 2 down. But yeah, you're right. You'd probably expect us to go 2 up top, but
yeah,
we got the point, didn't we? So credit to noise.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Really. I mean, excuse the noise. I'm a bit hay fevery today. The season is well and truly here. So episode 14, take 2. It's the Cornet episode, the Maxwell Cornet episode, if you like. I mean, we're hoping he's going to start tonight. Yeah, we're hoping he's going to get the nod tonight in the Gent home leg. That stays this evening. But we want to talk about the Gent trip. So obviously we went Belgium last week. We had an absolute belter. We drank a lot of beer.
Yeah, hell of a lot of beer. You'll see in the clip in a minute that we're going to insert that. It was an unbelievable trip. Wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Loads of West Ham were out
It was brilliant. We flew out of Heathrow Thursday morning at 6 a.m. We touched down into Gent. Obviously, in Brussels, got the train. We touched down at about maybe 11 a.m. and we just dumped our bags, went straight to the main square. Didn't know it was the main square where all the West Ham fans were going to be at the time. Tom, my dad, and Andy, we all perched up, had our first beer, had a bit of grub. Before you know it, there's 4,000 West Ham fans around us in the square. And we just parked up and we was there all day until the game started, which is when we went and found a bar. Obviously, we didn't have tickets, unfortunately.
Yeah, shout out to Woody's Bar, by the way. Good,
Woody's Bar, brilliant bar. I think the owner was actually a Liverpool fan, but it was a good crack. So what we'll do is we'll pop the clip in now of our little trip.
Run the clip.
So yeah, that's the clip. As you can see, we had good fun. Even the day, so we sort of did it on a 3-day trip. So Thursday was arrive, beer, football. Friday was actually let's see Gent. Let's drink more beer, but let's see what Gent's actually got to offer rather than just sitting in the square and going to a bar. Had some nice meals on the canal, didn't we? Which was really nice. Yeah. And then on Friday, and then the Saturday was all about getting a train back to Brussels, which is where we was flying from, and actually doing a day in Brussels. Obviously, it's a much bigger city, but again, you've got another main square with all the beautiful buildings with all the gold. Brilliant. Sat in there, had a nice meal with the sun. And we picked up a bit of a tan, actually, didn't we? We didn't expect it. I mean, the weather can make a trip, and it definitely did, didn't it?
Yeah, do you know what? It felt like, we was walking through Brussels, lovely park. It felt like it was in bloody Spain, didn't it?
Honestly, it did. It was like, it
lovely.
might have been like 18, 19 degrees at that point, but it was so nice, so fresh, no wind.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a great trip. And do you know what? Like, it got to the point where, I don't know about you, but it got to, 6:45 time in Gent. I wasn't even bothered about the game, really. It's just such a good trip. Like,
Yeah.
The result was, in a good way, I think. I know it's Gent, but away from home, a draw in Europe isn't the end of the world. And
No.
we've got the game later. So,
Yeah.
it's a good result. Hopefully we can kind of follow up with tonight.
Yeah, let's talk about the game more. As you put down in the notes here, a bit of a questionable lineup for a quarter final, whether it's the Conference League or the Standard Europa. This is our ticket to Europe next season, and I am very surprised that he didn't put in. I thought he'd play Antonio. Paqueta, obviously. I know he's hit and miss, but one thing you get with him, he's turning into a bit of a Pablo Fornals of last season. I know he can misplace a pass, but I think that's what you signed him for. You got to start him. Lanzini hasn't played a minute all season, it feels like, and he's being put into the deep end in the biggest game. I know tonight is the second leg, and this is it now, and I'm sure he'll field a stronger side tonight. But yeah, questionable.
It's a questionable lineup as well, and I know at the time I said, you know what, we should have probably gone stronger in the first leg because we have Arsenal in the weekend. We can probably write that one off, and then this weekend coming up, we've got Bournemouth this, haven't we? So you would have thought you would have maybe done it the other way around, try to kill the game off so we can rest a few this week and focus on Bournemouth in the weekend.
Yeah, it's funny. I think a lot of people feel like we got a point against Arsenal. It's Sunday. Oh yeah, we're safe. It's like no, we ain't.
This is massive coming up.
Yeah, we ain't safe yet. We're only 4 points off the drop.
Yeah.
If I'm right. And there's a lot of games to go. If we just fall off a cliff like we did at the end of last season, then yeah, I mean, the point against Arsenal was massive, but Bournemouth is. I do think if we win that game against Bournemouth, we're 99% safe.
Don't say 100% because you'll come back to this.
But that is the biggest game of our season.
It is the biggest game of the season because
on Sunday
as well. With the fixtures after that, I think we've got Liverpool, Palace, United, City. It's an awful run. The next 4 games.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not good. But Ingsy got his first goal in Europe at the age of 31, I think he is, which is big. You know, if he's in the 6-yard box and the ball's coming across, he's going to be there. And I think he scores almost all of his goals inside that 6-yard box or in and around it. So I think he might get the nod. Do you reckon he'll get the nod tonight?
Do you know what? I was going to shout Antonio out in the Arsenal game. I think because of how well he played, he might go with Antonio. But I think if Ings does get the nod, he'll score a few, being optimistic again. But I think you're right. If you get him in the 6-yard box and, Bowen's hitting a bit of form, if you can just get it into him.
Yeah, Bowen's... Yeah. I think... I saw a little interview on wherever it was, and I think it's very true. I think he sort of come out and said, I feel like the weight's off me now. I feel like he had a really good season. World Cup was round the corner, and for the first sort of 6 months of the season, or for 4 or 5 months, he was really thinking World Cup. How am I going to get in that squad? Has a bad game. Oh no, I'm not going to get in the World Cup squad. Oh no, and then it just spiralled from there. Whereas now he's said, I think he feels free. It feels like he's just enjoying his football, and there's not that added sort of pressure, which is like I've got to get in that England squad. There is pressure. Don't get me wrong. We need to stay up, and we really want to win a trophy for the first time in 43 years. But I think that it's a different kind of pressure now, isn't it?
It's a pressure that is purely on the club rather than him on his personal kind of. In a way, I know it's still him as a person at the club, and it's a big thing, but this is not just about him now. Whereas he was, as you said, trying to get that England call up, probably a bit distracted. This is about the boys getting together as a team and playing for each other. And I saw again in the Arsenal game, people were running down the back, chasing the defenders down, big tackles, and that's what you want to see. And again, the Fulham game as well. We didn't watch really all of it. Did we?
No, we watched most of it.
From what it sounds like, Fulham dominated the game. He started the older boys, the older crew at the back, and we just defended for our lives. And this is what we need to do now, and I think we're doing it. Yeah,
I think we missed a trick with Cresswell Kufau this season. I know people ain't going to like me saying this, but I feel like to get to the next stage this season, we did need to try something a bit different. Of course, people would say, why change something if it's working? But Cresswell is getting on. And the team last year included Noble as part of the squad, which was massive. And this season, obviously, the club wanted to invest money, and we bought Paqueta and Scamacca. But the old guard of Cresswell and Kufau on the wing, on the fullbacks. Obviously, Fornell's played as well. Paquette wasn't even involved in the squad, was he? I don't think. Obviously, he had a knock, but Cresswell in Europe he struggled last year.
That's
but I feel like in the Premier League,
yeah,
he's all right.
Yeah.
He was good against Arsenal, and he also offers that ball into the box. But he is getting on. You can't ignore that. But one player I really am enjoying watching at the moment is Kufau.
Kufau looks like he's getting back to his best, to be honest. I think with Cresswell, you've got the set pieces, which is something that we've been missing this season, the dead ball specialist. And Cresswell, that is probably, for me, at the moment, Cresswell's one of his best attributes. He's lost his legs a little bit. He can't really track back. Yeah. So that's probably where you miss him the most. But yeah, I think, as you said, with the signings and things like that, maybe we just didn't change it. Like, it was too quick. Like, it wasn't a gradual change with the fullbacks, with the midfielders. It should have been maybe more of a, let's start with the old guard and then slowly but surely work the new boys into the team. I think it was a bit of too much of a quick change.
Yeah, and then if it is going tits up,
go back a lot earlier.
I feel like 10, 15 games we should have gone, right, this ain't working. We need to reverse. We need to go back to our 4-2-3-1 counter.
Yeah. Work on it in the training ground with the new boys.
Rather than 4-2-3-1 possession, which is like, oh, look, we think we can play. Camp in, that's what we did last season, the year before. And then make the most of our set pieces. That's what it was. Whereas this season, it started off trying to play a different style of football, keeping the ball, building from the back, and it just don't suit the Moyes team at the moment. But look, we don't expect him to be here after this season. I think even if he wins the European Cup, I think it'll be a surprise if he's still at the club. Just feels like the right time to move on, which is, if we win a European Cup, it's strange to even say that.
Yeah.
But a lot's going to change in it with Rice leaving and whatever. But talk of Rice and Arsenal, you see the video. Everyone's seen the video of him getting Odegaard to sign his shirt. Obviously a home shirt as well that he had tucked in his handbag. But I think, you see the videos also of Rice in the game. The passion he shows. Again, the clips of him last season in the European nights when we win the game and he's singing Bubbles. No one will blame him for leaving. He's got more passion than any other academy graduate that I've spoke to our dad about. Yeah, like even the Carricks, the Ferdinands, they were gone at the first hurdle, sort of thing. So yeah, it's gonna be a shame. But he was passionate, weren't he, against Arsenal?
He was,
and his performances are 7 minimum out of 10 every week.
Yeah.
And his ability. I mean, I'm so glad that everyone can now see it, but also not because he's leaving. But he's so good.
He's so good. And do you know what? Like, as you said with Rice, with the Odegaard signing, I mean, I don't know if you've seen his social media. He's got Kane, Son, Sterling. It doesn't mean nothing.
Oh, yeah.
He might go to Arsenal, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't even associate that with anything because he's got loads of frames of all them players, in his house. So
talking of signing stuff, have you seen all the stuff on the Twitter at the moment about like mascots and
the price to be a mascot at West Ham?
Price to be a mascot, for one, that's a good point, and two, all the clips of the players walking past fans not signing stuff, and I think people don't realise that players get told, do not sign that. They do, especially ones that are stood there waiting with a nice block, like a wooden block with the shirt over it, because they're just people that are literally bought a 30 quid shirt. You come over and sign it, and that's 200 quid they've made.
Yeah, do you know what though? I don't mind it. There is definitely a line, but there was one in the Arsenal clips with the young girl.
It's the kids, isn't it?
It's the kids, isn't it? Really. I mean, the old blokes. I mean, you know what? They're not going to cry about it. But no. I think it's the kids when they're seeing their idols. It's a bit different.
It is. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but you're right. I think people do just usually flog it on.
But yeah, as with pints and anything else, the mascot, most expensive.
700 quid.
700 quid. Most expensive mascot experience in the Premier League is at West Ham United. I think there's 4 or 5 clubs that do it for free. I think
United, one of them. I think City,
Leicester, maybe no wrong with Leicester. I think they're quite expensive as well. But
might be. If there's a clip or a picture I can grab.
Yeah, I think I've popped it in the chat anyway. So, but yeah, it's bizarre, absolutely bizarre. But yeah, more focus on the Arsenal game on Sunday. 10 minutes, whatever it was, 12 minutes, 2 down. If it was 3 or 4 at half time, I think I'd have gone to the local boozer. And because we got back at midnight on Saturday. Midnight, we got home
From Gent, yeah.
From Gent. I mean, we was back in Heathrow at sort of 9:30, 10, but it takes a couple of hours to get from one side of London back to Essex. But bloody hell, got back up early doors, gone there, and we just wanted to see the team put in a shift, and we started all right for the first couple minutes.
Yeah.
Atmosphere was brilliant, and I did not expect it at all. Sunday hangover after the Gent game. I know it was only a few thousand out there, but the atmosphere was brilliant on Sunday, and then bang, killed.
The atmosphere,
but we got a goal
good.
back.
Yeah, the atmosphere was good until the 6th minute, and then the atmosphere was good again. Probably once we
30th minute
when Declan Rice did that. I mean, going back to Declan Rice, the interception on Thomas Partey was just unbelievable. You know, he's come out of nowhere. He's nicked the ball. He squared it to Paquet, and you probably questioned Paquet's first touch. I mean, he done well to win the penalty, so can't call it out too much. But
handball?
Was it handball?
When Partey flicked it up.
I've seen a few angles. Some of it looks like he's hit him kind of here. I'm going to be biased and say no, but Arsenal fans would definitely disagree.
Slow motion, I think it did hit his arm. But end of the day, Partey flicked the ball up, and Rice is like half a yard. Like, he's right close to him.
His arms are in between him, and if he's fast in the both, they won't give it as a penalty because he's not like this or like that.
But it's all confusing. Obviously, the City Bayern Munich game last night, both those penalties for me
weren't penalties.
Weren't pens. No way. Upamecano had his hands behind his back, and I know he moved. I mean, it's stupid, really. He's crap, isn't he?
Yeah.
But he's moved his arm out, and it's just grazed his arm almost. Like, did that impact the ball and where it was going? And you know, I think that rule needs to change. But I think that's a UEFA thing, isn't it? They have changed that in the Premier League, haven't they? And as you can see with the Rice one. But yeah, my thoughts on it were not a handball. Paqueta's touch was poor. I mean, he made the most of it, but we got the pen, and Benrahma slotted it away. We have found our new penalty taker finally.
No.
He was doing the rounds. Yeah,
4 out of 4.
Yeah, 4 out of 4, and he's been scoring them beforehand. Saeed, he's been scoring them beforehand anyway. But yeah, I'm looking forward to him missing his next one. So
yeah, do you know what? Saeed Benrahma, 4 out of 4. I don't know if we've called it out yet in the Arsenal game, but he scored in both fixtures, home and away. And they were both penalties. I think it was on Boxing Day. We went 1-up at the Emirates. We lost in the end. But Benrahma looks like to be the one, doesn't he? I think he scored a fair few penalties at Brentford.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. He did. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just looking at his games, and I know we went 2 down, but we really did turn it around, and it really did. It always felt like we was going to get 1 in that game, and that's what felt like the old West Ham. Like, we might be 2 down, but we're doing all right here. We could get 1, and I feel like we've got to keep in that vein. And I feel like we have turned a corner this year, and that's when I always go back and I sit on the fence slightly about Moyes, because it does seem to just get a result. And this year, literally this year, so we're halfway through April now. I feel like things have improved. I do really feel like things have improved. And you've seen a little bit more consistency in the last couple of months with the performances, especially against the big teams. Obviously, we've got results against Forest, Everton, games that really mattered. But yeah, I think, like you said about the fixtures, I'm not massively worried about them. City's obviously a write-off. But Liverpool, why can't we give them a game? It's at home next Wednesday night. Why can't we do them under the lights? They ain't got fuck all to play for, have they?
Top 4, but
no, they ain't getting there. They aren't getting in the top 4.
I think they did just batter Leeds. I think it was Leeds.
Yeah, but Leeds.
Leeds
are a pony, and I would
Leeds
like
are going down, by the way.
I'd like to see Leeds go down. I'd love to see.
Leeds, I just wanted to cover a couple of points. Again, so the Arsenal game, when it was 2-1 at half time, similar to the Newcastle game. As you said about us being 2-0 down, you think,
exactly the same, wasn't it?
Same thing happened. Come out in the second half, slow start. Aguerd in the Newcastle game, Antonio handball in the Arsenal game. We need to sharpen up in the first 10 minutes of the second half, because fortunately in the Arsenal game, Saka missed a penalty. It gave us a second wind. But in the Newcastle game, obviously it wasn't the case. And if Saka did bury that, it could have gone the same way as the Newcastle.
Oh yeah, no. Poor pen. You at least hit the target, so make the keeper do his job. And obviously Saka's got history of missing big penalties in big moments.
That could be a big one for Arsenal.
That could be it. Obviously, I know we're at Liverpool at home next Wednesday, but City Arsenal is the same Wednesday night next week. That's going to be a proper game. Yeah. I think they'll turn them over. But yeah, that's a massive moment in Arsenal's season. And obviously, a few weeks ago, there was 6-7 points clear, and that gap's just after Arsenal have blown 2-0 leads, back-to-back games. That's all it takes, isn't it? Which is mental, because Arsenal have been phenomenal all season. But all it takes is a couple games, and the team who's in second place to keep that consistency, and bang.
Yeah.
But I'll find one of the early episodes when Arsenal were top of the league, and I said they'll bottle it.
Yeah, do you know what though? Credit to Arsenal for even competing with this Man City side. Haaland in all competitions now after last night, I think 48 goals. So to even be competing to this stage is credit to Arsenal.
It's Vic Watson levels, isn't it?
Yeah,
West Ham.
yeah. But I think you're right. I think City will win next week. Well, I think they will.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. I think the viewing on our game will definitely be a lot less.
Oh yeah.
It's a huge game. I think I'll even have it up. At half time. But just one more point I wanted to mention on David Moyes quickly. He called out in the week about, I think someone in his press conference for the Gent game said, how do you feel about your job, etc. Like, are you feeling confident about are you going to be here next season, basically? And he went, if you told me 3 years ago that I'd be questioned about my job when I'm about to go in the second leg of a quarterfinal of a European Cup in the game, I'd laugh. And again, do you know what? I think we've got to cut in some slack. I seriously do. I think. Look, I'm not saying Moyes in, but look at where he's taken us.
I know. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard, but because how crap this season's been in the league. I mean, we went to the only away win up until last week against Fulham.
Villa,
back in like August or September.
Yeah, it was
it was early. I think it was second or third home game of the season. That you can't do that. No. And I feel like Moyes' stubbornness throughout the league season has turned the fans against him, because it's not like it just goes back to then. Like, it's literally been over a year. Go back to January, where we just fell off a cliff last season. But you're right. A lot of the players, Rice, Bowen, have all come out and said, actually, we like Moyes.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd do that unless they actually genuinely believed it. And I always toss and turn between it, and I always feel like, I've been to Europe. We just went to Gent last week. I'd never have gone to Gent. No, and I'm so glad I did, because it's a beautiful place, and I'll go back again with my missus and friends, whatever. But Moyes has taken us there. The players have taken us there. Went to Seville, went to Frankfurt. You know,
and even tonight we're going to. I know it's only at home, but we're going to Under the Lights against a European side that they ain't muppets. They're a good side, as we saw in the first leg. So yeah, for them fans that can't go away from home, it's still the experience at home, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, they can have it at home as well. Absolutely. Yeah, I think we've got to cut him a bit of slack, but at the same time, you can't forget about the last year and a bit.
You can't.
Well, not even year and a bit, because we have turned the corner this year. Do you know what I mean? I toss and turn with it, and because I get a lot of mates texting me going, Moyes out, Moyes this, and then I think, yeah, we haven't won a game for like away from home for months and months and months, and then we beat Fulham, and it's like.
So, as you said, I think you said in the episode that didn't go on air, but our home record, we only lost to Newcastle this year at home. Like, even drew to Arsenal. We've turned a corner, and I think the biggest game this weekend is Bournemouth. If we win that game, who knows? Like, we could even break. Well, we could finish 12th. And if I said to any West Ham fan at the start of the season, we'll finish between 14th and 12th, and we'll win the Europa League or Conference League, people would literally bite your hand. Rip your hand off for it, and Moyes would be a legend. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just wanted to say. Just realised we've left the old video on blue screen, so I hope you enjoy the
blue
screen.
For the last 10.
Yeah, go on.
Something that did make me laugh on the Arsenal game, when we went 2-0 down, the Arsenal fans were just giving it about Tottenham, but basically chanting, "Are you Tottenham in disguise?" when we were 2 down. And the funny thing is, obviously, when we equalised, we was giving it back to them, and they bottled it against Liverpool, and they bottled it against us. So I think it's a bit of a North London trend.
Must be a North London trend, yeah. I mean, we could have won that game. Should have won that game. I know they missed the penalty at 2-1, but Antonio at the bar, a corner and a goal at 2-2. I think he kind of went too early. If he was coming onto it a bit more, he could have got it back across. But Bowen's goal was beautiful. I think Ramsdale probably could have done a little bit better. But at the end of the day, if you get the shot on target with a bit of power behind it, you've always got a chance. And Kerr's got 2 assists in 2 games. Well, 3 games, actually. I think, again, another player that definitely cares about the club. Very passionate. He's always one to go up to the fans and get them going. Whereas some players have got no personality, don't get it. And I think he definitely gets it. But he can be very rash. And when I saw him in the lineup pre-match, I thought to myself, God, not centre half, but I think he'd done all right.
He didn't do too bad. I think with Kero, he sometimes starts off a bit too slow and then warms into the game, and then 70 minutes in, you're like, oh, he's actually doing all right.
Yeah.
I think it's just, again, same with a lot of the new players. That first, like the Aguard in the second half against Newcastle, it's them first 10 or 15 minutes of each half. It's just a bit.
Well, he's not had a sniff, has he?
No.
Since then, I think he was dropped. Was he dropped out the team for Fulham, and then he was actually dropped out of the squad?
He might,
or has he been on the bench at both games?
I think he was on the bench.
Was he? Yeah.
And then he started him obviously against Gent in the week with a Bonner at the back next to him, two left-footed defenders with Zuma on the bench.
Yeah.
Disrespecting the Gent.
Their goal.
Gent side. Yeah.
I know we spoke about Gent, but their goal, Jesus Christ, pony.
Don't even go into it.
No. And then I think Antonio had a real good game on Sunday, and you put it down in here, Ben White on toast. When he went out wide in that first half, he was peeling off to the left, and actually it was a 20-minute spell where Ben Rama was up top and Antonio was on the left. He was just rinsing Ben White, absolutely rinsing him. And there was one moment where he could have got a pen. He got taken down just outside the box, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was Ben White that took him out, but brilliant play from Antonio. I love it when he plays like that. I love it when he has a game where he just don't care. He's at it, and that's what it was like when we were playing well a couple of seasons ago. But we've said that 100 times now. So we'll move on to the next part of the episode, which is an overview on the relegation battle. And as we've mentioned a couple of times as well, Bournemouth away is massive.
Huge game, and Bournemouth won a bit of form at home. You know, they've got Billion, who's actually playing really well at the moment. Solanke, they just turned Tottenham over, which was an awful result for us. It's a big game. Gary O'Neill's doing a great job, ex-Hammer, of course. But yeah, it's not taken for granted. I mean, if we win, we go above them. I think Wolves might have a tough game, so we could even go above Wolves.
I just feel like every time I see a Wolves result, they've won.
Since Craig Dawson's joined Wolves, they've been.
And Lopetelli's obviously a brilliant manager. And that day we went there and lost 1-0, it felt like, Wolves, they're crap. But actually, they've got a really good squad, good manager, Craig Dawson. They've massively turned the corner, haven't they? Massively
turned the corner.
Yeah.
It's a big game.
Yeah, it's a massive game. Yeah. It's a massive game. And Gary O'Neill, as Darren Bent, good old Darren Bent, he was talking about him on Talk Sport, and he was saying, I played with him and I never thought he'd be a manager. But he said once he apparently was massively into his golf. Gary O'Neill played a lot. But I think he said once he got the bug for coaching, that was it. It was done. So devoted. Who's going down, Tom? Who's going down?
Right, we know Leeds are gone. I'm sorry, Leeds are going down. Leeds.
Well, Southampton's the stone.
Oh, of course,
stone
Southampton. I've even written them off. I think it's the debate between the two, isn't it?
It's the two, 18 and 19.
I'm going to go Forest and Leeds and Southampton.
You think Leicester are going to pull away?
Yeah, I think no particular order between obviously Southampton bottom of the league, between Leeds and Forest. It could go either way, but I think Leicester have got the quality to stay up. Obviously they've got Maddison, Harvey Barnes. If they do go down, Barnes, Bowen.
Yeah.
How
about I'm going to say my prediction. I think Southampton are gone. I think Forest will go back down. They've just signed too many players, and I think I'd love Everton to go down.
It's just no way Sean Dyche is there.
They lost the behind closed doors game against the National League yesterday. They did. I mean, either Leicester or Everton, that'd be unbelievable.
Do you not think Leeds are going to go there?
I don't know why I've got this feeling Leeds are going to stay up.
They did it last season,
But they're playing so bad at the moment. I'm going to say Leeds, Forest, Southampton. I think that's the three. But what I was going to say was James Ward-Prowse, and I know I think he'll have top clubs sniffing around him, top clubs. But why can't we sign him if we ship off Rice? He's only going to be a 20% of the price of Declan Rice. I'd love Ward-Prowse at West Ham.
Yeah.
Just saw someone else say, he's a typical West Ham signing. We sign him and he'll never score a free kick ever again.
But no, and again, going back to the earlier point on set pieces, if we can get Ward-Prowse in, we've got bid lumps. Like Soucek, Aguard, Zuma.
Soucek needs to be dropped, mate.
Oh yeah, Soucek does need to. But if we've got Moyes, Soucek will never be dropped, which is the issue.
No. It just massively hinders the team, especially when you play him in that sort of cam role.
Makes me laugh. Cam, Soucek.
Yeah.
I think with Paqueta, with his passing, does the old risky
He
pass,
tries,
which I don't mind, but he should be further forward now, I think, because purely he does make the odd pass that does go wrong, but it's fine if you're in centre attacking mid. It's not fine if you're in the CDM Declan Rice role. Signing Ward-Prowse and pushing Paqueta on a bit more, getting Soucek out, having Flynn Downs next to him, I can see Flynn Downs and Ward-Prowse working quite well.
Yeah.
Seriously,
yeah. There's lots of options, and it's the same with the centre-half thing, isn't it? You've got Zuma, Bonner, Kehrer, Agurd, four good quality centre-halves, but what combination works best? Is it Ogden Zuma? Is it Kehrer Zuma? Is it Agurd Kehrer? Is it Agüed Zuma? We haven't really, we had 3 clean sheets in a row with Agüed and Zuma, Agard and Zuma, and then it all just went to pot.
Even in the front line, say the same thing. I think with Scamacca being injured for the majority of the season, it has, I think, had a bad effect on Moyes' strategy and his tactics, just because Antonio is built for that kind of counter-attacking style.
Yeah.
Scamacca's not been there for the possession-based football.
No.
That's where the balance has all gone wrong in it, really.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I think we're gonna have to wrap it up there. Good episode. My nose is running. I need to go and blow my nose, so we'll have to call it there. But yeah, thanks again, guys. We've started posting back on TikTok a little bit more, and we're trying to get the content going. But we're all busy people. But obviously, we enjoy the pod, so we want to keep it going. But yeah, thanks for all your support, and like, subscribe this video. We'll link the TikTok account in the description. And yeah, come on your wines.
Come on your wines.